Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vetting America. We are here at the Attic Cafe in downtown Tampa. I'm here with Junior Silva of Veterans Supporting Veterans. Today's podcast is produced by Anthony Kovic of the Tampa Post and our sponsor, Richard McIntyre of McIntyreFirm.com. So, Junior, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear your story because of all the people I've met on my journey, your story and what you're doing is one of my favorites that I've come across. So tell us a little bit about what Veterans Supporting Veterans is all about and why you decided to start doing it.
Well, our mission is very simple, and our mission is to help homeless veterans, displaced veterans, reintegrate back into society by providing mentorship and different programs as that. Our vision, our ultimate vision, is to have a building or location or a house to do all of our programs out of.
Have you helped any veterans as of today?
I have. I've actually helped two. My very first veteran that I helped, we helped him get a job and place him in a house. The second veteran I've been working with, we've actually been working with him for 9 months now. He had no identity, so in the process of becoming homeless, he actually lost all his identity, including his naturalization certificate. So we've been helping him. You know, we got him a temporary ID, we got him a social security card. We got him food stamps, and we keep going. We keep moving up.
Tell us a little bit about that experience. Tell us a little story about what that was like to help kind of almost recreate somebody into this world and help them find themselves again.
It's been very tough from the very beginning because he's been displaced for so long. He kind of was hopeless in a sense, or he didn't really believe in himself anymore. He didn't believe anything was going to be achieved. He just thought it was just another person that was going to show up and say, "Oh, I'm going to help you," but nothing was going to get done. But I promised him from the very beginning, I'm going to help him no matter what, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And I remember, like I was telling you earlier, I remember at the DMV, I was literally sitting next to him at the DMV telling him, "We're going to get this done. We're going to get you the ID." And to the point where the person asked him to get up and go to get his picture done, he did not believe it was going to happen. So when that did happen, I remember his face teared up a little bit, got a little bit red, and he was in disbelief. It was great. It was a great feeling.
Moving on to the next question. How did you come up with this idea, and why did you decide to execute on it?
Well, when I came back from Iraq in 2010, I started volunteering because I didn't think I did enough, so I wanted to do more. And started volunteering, different military organizations, USO, MWR, and all the other organizations out there. And during that volunteer time, I saw some displaced veterans out in the street. And because I just came back from Iraq, it didn't make sense to me that someone, especially a veteran, would be out in the streets. So from that moment in 2010, I promised myself that when I got out in the military, I was going to make a difference. So
when did you get out of the military?
I got out in 2013.
2013. How has your transition been?
Transition was rough. It was very rough. You go from a lifestyle that everything is basically provided to you. You're told what to wear, where to be, at what time. And when you get out, you no longer have that structure. It's not the same. You can no longer talk to civilians the same way you were talking to your military buddies. You can't joke with them the same. You can't have any conversation the same way. So it was very hard transitioning for me.
How long did it take for you to struggle through your transition and realize that this was your path?
I want to say a good 2 years. I was actually struggling transitioning. Yeah.
I saw that you just got your associate's degree in entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I want to congratulate that. That's amazing. Is there plans to go forth and get your bachelor's?
Absolutely. I plan on going to UT.
Nice.
Once they approve me. Yeah. So I go to UT, go on their business entrepreneurship program, and keep moving forward.
It's a great program. It's a great program. So take me through a day in the life of kind of what you do and what are you trying to accomplish each day as you're trying to affect people's lives.
So when I'm not in school and studying and do everything that a student does, I'm constantly on the phone, making phone calls, doing contacts, achieving resources, different people things, because it's all about networking. That's pretty much all I do, and every single day is find more resources that I know that will help these veterans. Yes. So on Fridays, I dedicate my Fridays to specifically help the veterans themselves.
Okay.
But throughout the week, I'm doing and connecting those resources.
Excellent, excellent. So why'd you choose the entrepreneurship route? Other than, I know it's your dream to help people.
Absolutely.
But this isn't this is not a route for everybody, and it's hard.
Especially the nonprofit route. If you're not truly passionate about what you believe in, you're definitely going to fail nonprofit. It's very different than a for-profit. And I chose to do it because I don't want someone else to value who I am and what I can do. I want to value myself and show everyone else what my true value is.
What are some of the resources that you use to get to where you are today?
Well, my very first resource would be HCC, because I learned a lot and was able to connect with a lot of professors that can connect me with other people. But the second resource after that was really Operation Startup. I went to Operation Startup, 1 Million Cups, and all the different programs that ECC has, workshops and stuff like that. And that's really what helped me grow and push up my education.
What would you give some advice to some transitioning military members that are kind of lost right now?
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. There's a lot of other transitioning members. Speak with veterans organizations, and it really does help when you have a fellow veteran with you that you're able to communicate with and talk to, socialize with, because you feel alone, or at least I did. I felt very alone, like no one else understood me. So it's very tough times, and by having another veteran with me to socialize with and talk to all these different things that was going on in my head, it made it easier.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about mindset. I've found that the more I focus on giving myself that positive mindset, it seems like opportunities kind of just unveil themselves, and the dark days kind of dissipate and some light comes through. What was your mindset when you first got out? Then what was your mindset when you realized that you wanted to help people and go the entrepreneurial route 2 years later? And then what's your mindset today? And how has that helped you achieve the things you've achieved and put you in the path that you're on right now?
Well, I've always had the mindset from the very beginning of wanting to help somebody. I just really did not know how to get the vision and place it into a mission.
Yes.
I didn't know how to do that. There was a huge gap in that placement. So that's all it really was. But my mindset has been the same throughout the whole time, to help others as much as I can.
How have you helped yourself in order to help others become better? Because I know for a fact that you can only give so much of yourself without taking care of yourself before it feels like that you're being devoured. And I'm sure you've gone through that a couple of times, have felt that a couple of times.
Absolutely. So, in the very beginning, like I said, all I want to do is help others as much as I can. And that was kind of one of my faults at the same time. I learned that time management and, learning to provide balance in your life is very important. I was dedicating everything to the nonprofit, not dedicating any time to my family, not dedicating any time to the services that I like to attend to on Sundays. And it's important. It's important to create that balance, and I did not have that balance in the beginning.
How important is your spiritual journey alongside this personal journey for you in terms of just keeping the faith in yourself and what it is you're doing? Because some days are just, we talked about it, there's just some days in this journey where you don't want to get out of bed.
Yes.
Some days and you shouldn't get out of bed some days.
It is very exhausting. I generally do not involve my beliefs with the nonprofit, only because a lot of the veterans I deal with don't have the same beliefs as me, so I try to keep that separated. However, in my personal life, I believe it is very important to have some sort of belief system or some sort of support structure in your life. Yeah.
What's next for you? Where are we going?
Oh, geez. I just added a new trustee to my boards. And a new chief financial officer, which is it's gonna be huge. And I plan to continue to add more trustees, and this is only going to allow me to open my time up to really do what I want to do in the mission, and it's gonna be great. This year it's gonna blow up for me.
I believe that. It's already blowing up for you. What do you got going on right now? What are some of the events you're putting on? What are you trying to do? Right
now, I actually have a fundraiser that I'm hosting tomorrow. I'm hosting a fundraiser tomorrow. It's a car wash and a bake sale. So, and then the next week, I'm going to be hosting another event. It's going to be to basically unite nonprofits.
Okay.
It's one of the struggles we have as nonprofits. It's really not connecting with other nonprofits.
Yes, it's big.
So that's actually what I'm doing. I'm creating another event next week to unite nonprofits to provide a larger impact to the displaced population, not just veterans.
Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
I've recently attained the words for that. It's community over competition.
Right.
And I feel as though in entrepreneurship, but also in the nonprofit sector itself, we're moving away from thinking that we have to compete with everyone for crumbs when we can build strategic partnerships and truly go after making the impact that we're trying to make.
Right.
What are some of your strategies for that, other than obviously what you're doing in the next 2 weeks? Like, what's this year coming? What are some of your ideas?
Well, I plan on communicating and connecting with more nonprofits to see how we can help each other, because we have a specific field that we're going to be going towards, and that's only going to help that field.
Yes.
But if someone approaches me to where they need help with a different section, I'm going to know what nonprofit to direct them to.
Yes.
So there is no way. So yeah, there is no way for us to do everything on our own. So our intention this year is to continue to grow our resources with nonprofits and to properly direct these veterans, displaced veterans, and displaced people in general.
How can we get some more information about your company?
Well, my website is vsvfl.org. You can go there anytime, and then our social medias are Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at VSVFL.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Now let's bring it down to your story.
Yes.
We've been talking about your business,
Right.
which I love to highlight. That's why this show is for you and your business to gain more exposure in what it is you're doing, because it's incredible.
Okay.
But I also believe that people getting to know the person behind this brilliant idea is very important. Tell us a little bit about your story, like where you come from, why you have the mentality you have, why you love to help people as much as you do. It has to come from humble beginnings and
it does.
An incredible support system.
So I'm actually a Cuban immigrant myself. At the age of 5, my parents attempted to bring me here to the States. We came over in a boat, and the boat ran out of gas. So at that point, we were lost out in the ocean for a couple days. A cruise ship picked us up, took us to Guantanamo Bay. And at Guantanamo Bay, the base commander decided to give us access to the United States. And at that point is really kind of, I think, that opened me up to the military and helping others, really. After that, when I did join the military, my mother was the one that encouraged me to continue to volunteer and to volunteer my services. When I did come back, she's the one that pushed me to keep myself busy and to volunteer. So really, that's what kept my mentality and everything going.
Tell us a little bit about your military experience.
What do you want to know about my military experience?
It shapes us in a certain way.
Right.
And there's always stories that go along with it that are some of those moments that just really help define you as a man. Mm-hmm. There's moments that you would like to take back, but there's also those moments that truly define you as a human being and help you kind of take yourself to that next level. Do you have any stories like that, or even any leaders that really affected you?
I do have one leader that I had in the military. It was right before I deployed. I remember he made the one promise that no leader should ever make to a parent, and that promise was, I'm going to bring your son back. And he made that promise to my mother, and he's been my kind of like my mentor and my idol this whole time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What else you got going on? You're very concise with your I'm trying to get some details out of you here.
Right. I don't have much going on. I mean, I do what I do. I continue to move forward. I don't stop, and I'm never gonna stop. My mission is very clear in my head, and I'm gonna continue to move forward.
That's amazing, man. You have family? I
do have family. I have a 3-year-old and 12-year-old, and they keep me busy. They definitely keep me busy, and that adds on to my schedule, my balance in my life. But they're definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I really enjoyed talking to you today because, like I said, you're one of my favorite stories I've ever heard. I really wanted to give you a chance to tell your story here, share that with you.
I appreciate that.
Is there anything that I or the people watching at home can do to help you achieve in your mission to help more people?
Not just with my mission, but the missions of nonprofits in general. I believe in very strong missions. Every single one has individual needs. And I think the biggest way you can help us as nonprofits is volunteer. Volunteer whatever service you have or whatever skill you have. Provide those skills and help those nonprofits with those skills that you have. We always have something going on. You know, we're about to add a mentorship program, which I would be needing mentors, people that are willing to go out in the streets and help these homeless veterans. So, yes, that's all I ask is to volunteer.
What do you think nonprofits in the 21st century need to be doing to get more people engaged, to get more people volunteering, to get people donating? It's almost as if it's so saturated now that people just think, oh, it's another nonprofit.
Right.
How do we differentiate the nonprofits that are truly out there trying to make change from the nonprofits I feel that may just be there for the namesake?
The best way, I think, is just to give it a shot. No matter what nonprofit it is, if it is a startup or a long-term nonprofit, give it a shot. Volunteer at one of their events, see how it goes. If they blend in with you, awesome. If they don't, then they don't. But most of our donors, our donor base, actually comes from our volunteers. So it's very hard to get donors or donations or sponsors of any sort from outside donors that are not volunteers. So that's the best thing I can say is volunteer and try out. You know, if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. You just choose a different organization.
Would you label yourself as a community builder?
I think so. You know, because it's not just about displaced veterans. Like I said, it's about connecting the other nonprofits together to create a larger impact. Because that is the biggest goal.
How do we get more people that may want to do something, but they just don't know what to do, or they're kind of on the fence, or like we were talking about, just they plan to do it, and then that day comes, they're like, I don't really want to do it. But you know, every time you get that feeling, something great's about to happen. That's how it works for me. That's how you said it works for you. I feel that we need to get the community, just random people, more involved in the community itself. And even if that's helping veterans or helping the at-risk youth or anything like that, what's a good way for us, especially in a beautiful city like Tampa? How do we get more people active?
I'm actually not affiliated with this website, but the website I like to go to is volunteermatch.org.
Volunteermatch.org.
On that website, you're able to see all the different nonprofits and organizations that are looking for volunteers, and you'll be able to access those. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with them, but it's a great website, great tool that we use, and that's what I do. I mean, when it comes to things like you were saying, where it comes to that one day where you're thinking about canceling or you're thinking about doing, the best thing to do is just stop your thoughts and do it.
Yes, absolutely. I feel the best value always comes from those situations. Yeah. Well, that wraps up another episode of Vetting America here at the beautiful Attic Cafe in downtown Tampa. I want to thank Junior Silva of Veterans Supporting Veterans. Again, what was the website?
It's vsvfl.org.
Perfect. I want to thank again Anthony Kovic of the Tampa Post for producing this show, and Richard McIntyre of McIntyreFirm.com. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.